I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translators Association. That's the Special District Association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna like this station. This is a community TV station, so if there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us. The number is 970-677-4119. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Monday program for July 13th, 2020, DCTV Daily News. From page 2 of Complete Colorado Online. That's a great aggregate site that is worth checking into for news stories across the state. They write that while the Democratic race for the U.S. Senate dominated our recent primary, a thunderstorm was rolling in Colorado's 3rd congressional district, and indeed, lightning struck on election night. Congressman Scott Tipton, a respected conservative 10-year incumbent Republican who was endorsed by President Donald Trump, was defeated by a young businesswoman and gun rights activist from Rifle, Lauren Boebert, in one of the biggest political upsets in decades. Boebert vaulted into the public arena by driving 250 miles to Denver with a gun strapped on her hip to publicly confront Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke, who had proclaimed, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47," end quote, in a desperate last-ditch move to revive his failing candidacy. Boebert declared, quote, "Hell no, you're not." Shortly thereafter, Boebert declared her Republican candidacy for Congress at her restaurant and bar in Rifle, Colorado, called Shooter's Grill, where she and her servers wear guns on their hips. She aggressively sought out interviews on conservative radio shows while traveling the district talking to local media. Seldom has a first-time candidate become as media savvy as in such a short time as Boebert did. The coronavirus pandemic forced small businesses like Shooter's Grill to shut down. Citing her employees' livelihoods, she defiantly reopened, resulting in a showdown with the Garfield County Health Department, where she was again forced to close. Suddenly, she was the voice of frustrated small business owners and their loyal employees who watched the heavy hand of government cripple or even destroy their life endeavors. The statewide primary for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate became so heated after former Governor John Hickenlooper was found by the Colorado Ethics Commission in late May to have violated state ethics laws that the 3rd District Republican primary was under the radar just when Boebert's campaign was picking up steam. Tipton had several $100,000 in the bank, but his campaign chose to air very little media and to send very little mail. Nor did they aggressively use social media to promote his candidacy in the primary. The campaign essentially ceded the field to Boebert, who clearly inspired a much higher Republican turnout than in 2018 that benefited her. In fact, it was the only district in the state where the Republican primary turnout exceeded the Democrats. The 3rd Congressional District is a sprawling stretch of land from Walden to Craig to Cortez to Pueblo, encompassing 29 counties of our 64 here in Colorado. Since congressional redistricting in 1981, the 3rd District has largely had the same geographical configuration, consisting of most of the western slope, the San Luis Valley, and Pueblo County. Tipton unsuccessfully challenged Democratic Congressman John Salazar in 2006, but he was appointed to fill a vacancy in the Colorado House of Representatives in 2007, setting the stage for a rematch in 2010. Bolstered by the Tea Party wave, Tipton aggressively attacked Salazar's votes for the Obama economic stimulus bill and Obamacare, and he unseated Salazar. Boebert will now face former state representative Diane Mitch Bush, a sociologist from Steamboat Springs, who lost to Tipton 2 years ago. Mitch Bush will attempt to campaign as a moderate, even though her legislative record is on the left. She not only supports gun control, she supports the main tenets of the Green New Deal and Medicare for All promoted by Democratic socialists such as Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Only 2 Democrats have won the seat over the past 35 years. State Representative Ben Nighthorse Campbell of Ignacio unseated Republican Congressman Mike Strang of Carbondale back in 1986. Congressman Campbell, however, was elected to the Senate in 1992 as a Democrat and then switched parties to Republican in 1995. After Republican Congressman Scott McInnes did not seek re-election, Democratic State Representative John Salazar, a farmer from Conejo County, won the open seat in 2004, while his brother, Attorney General Ken Salazar, was being elected to the U.S. Senate that same year. Mitch Bush is certainly not in the same tradition of the two Democrats who have held the seat, Campbell and Salazar, who by any measure were not from the party's left wing. Donald Trump carried the 3rd District in 2016 by a 52-40 margin over Hillary Clinton, and he specifically carried heavily Democratic Pueblo as well. Boebert has two challenges going into the general election. First, while she quite skillfully campaigned on broad national themes for change as the candidate truly in the mold of President Donald Trump, despite his endorsement of Tipton, Boebert must now diligently address issues specific to the rural, natural resource-dominated district, such as public lands, mining, oil and gas production, water rights, agriculture, rural economic development, and others. Scott Tipton and his congressional predecessors were dogged advocates for the district, and Boebert will have to go beyond the Trump themes and address these issues, which will put her in stark contrast to Mitch Bush. Secondly, Washington, D.C. leftist groups are already unfairly and inaccurately painting her as a right-wing extremist. She must not be pulled into discussions of conspiracy theories, such as QAnon, it's thought. In DCTV, I hope to coordinate a Zoom or telephone interview with Lauren Boebert, perhaps later in the week. We will bring you that as an exclusive as soon as possible. And now let's take a look at the local weather ahead. Was a hot one over the weekend, and now we have the potential for showers today. Isolated showers between 11 and 2 p.m. in the midday, and then isolated showers and thunderstorms possibly in the afternoon. But again, just a 20% chance for any rains today. It will still remain hot, mostly sunny with a high near 92 degrees, a little breezy with a west-southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. For tonight, looking for mostly cloudy skies and a low around 61, with west-southwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour and possible gusts to 25. For Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high near 90 degrees. South-southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, again, could gust to 25 miles an hour. For Tuesday night, we sneak in with a 20% chance for showers before midnight, partly cloudy and a low around 59 degrees, with west-southwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. For Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high near 89 degrees, with light winds southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wednesday night, still another 20% chance of showers before midnight, with mostly cloudy skies and a low around 60 degrees on the overnight. Continuing into Thursday with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon, with partly sunny skies and a high near 88. For Thursday night, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms remains, mostly cloudy and a low around 59. And a repeat for Friday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy and a low around 60. And right now for the weekend, Saturday looks to be partly sunny with a high near 88 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 59. And Sunday might be mostly sunny again and upper 80s as well. And now, back to our news. The Durango Herald reports from New Mexico as to the state of Project COVID-19 issues. New Mexico, which relies heavily on summer tourism, is asking neighboring states, Arizona and Texas, to be aware of the state's COVID-19 restrictions before planning a visit. The New Mexico State Tourism Department spent about $66,000. Really, 66? Okay. The money is to be spent on a series of advertisements placed in major cities in Arizona and Texas, states that have seen an increase in coronavirus cases in the past few weeks. The printed advertisements ran in 6 major newspapers in Tucson, Phoenix, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas on July 3rd and July 5th, and included images of New Mexico landmarks. The ads informed potential visitors that they would have to comply with New Mexico's efforts to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, including wearing a mask and quarantining for 14 days. Quote, "We ask you, as one of our closest neighbors, to join us in making the promise. It's nothing complicated, just a few simple guidelines like social distancing and wearing a mask," the advertisements read. The ads were part of the New Mexico Safe Promise. Its mission statement says it invites, quote, "everyone to make a personal promise to follow COVID safe practices to make New Mexico the safest place for our families, co-workers, and guests." In 2018, 37.5 million visitors spent $7.1 billion in New Mexico. That, according to the New Mexico Tourism Department, sustaining 8.5% of jobs statewide. Arizona and Texas recently have reported surges in coronavirus cases. On Friday, Arizona reported 4,221 new cases and 44 new deaths, raising the number of cases to over 100,016 and deaths to over 2,000, according to the Arizona Department of Health Services. Ventilators and ICU beds being used by COVID-19 patients also hit a new high this week at 53%, that according to the Arizona Department of Health Services. Hospitals' data reported to the state showed 88% of inpatient beds and 89% of ICU beds were in use as of Friday. The number of cases also has risen in Texas, and last week had marked the state's deadliest week during the pandemic, and the state has seen 27 consecutive days of record-setting increases in the virus-related hospitalizations, that according to NBC News. And both states have refrained from closing businesses or instituting public health restrictions, while New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham on July 1st announced a 14-day quarantine for most people entering New Mexico. And on last Thursday, she reimposed a ban on indoor dining and restrictions on high school football and contact sports for fall. The tightened restrictions come as the state has also seen an increase in coronavirus cases and deaths. In a 16-day period, the average number of new cases each day increased 79%, Human Services Secretary David Scracey said in a news conference on Thursday. The New Mexico Tourism Department website has a notice posted for all travelers. Face coverings are required for all visitors and residents in New Mexico, it says. The state will increase enforcement of the face covering requirement, which may include a $100 fine for those in violation of the mandate. Here in Dolores County, we are still holding at 0 cases, all 61 tests so far coming back negative. And today at the local Dove Creek Clinic, they're offering another series of free testing. Everyone is watching to see if we can pass the 14-day period following the July 4th weekend without coronavirus cases in the county. That's the apparent waiting period for transmission, and our county commissioners will be talking with the emergency manager tomorrow to reassess where the county is in terms of this health crisis moving forward through the hot summer. Opposition grows in the Four Corners to imported Estonian uranium. San Juan County Navajos object. White Mesa Mill argues recycling value. That reported by Jim Imiaga from the Journal. San Juan County, Utah, and the Navajo Nation have joined other groups to oppose a proposal by the White Mesa Mill in Blanding, Utah, to accept radioactive material from Estonia. And in case you were a little slack on world geography these days, here's the map of where the country of Estonia is located. It's south of Finland and east of Sweden, and just north of Latvia. Mill owner Energy Fuels Resources submitted an application to the Utah Division of Waste Management and Radiation Control to accept the material from NPM Silmet, a rare earth production plant in Silmet, Estonia. The companies planned to extract uranium from the material to fuel nuclear power plants. But environmental groups and the Ute Mountain Ute tribe, which has a reservation community near the mill, have opposed the license amendment application, citing transport risks and public health and environmental concerns. They claim the containment ponds used to store leftover milling waste are outdated and need upgrades. The White Mesa Mill processes uranium ore and accepts uranium materials known as, quote, alternative feed from reclamation projects. The Ute Mountain Utes and Grand Canyon Trust have long been critical of the mill's alternative feed program. And now, after a 3-2 vote, San Juan County, Utah commissioners have agreed to send a letter to state regulators opposing a 10-year proposal to import 2,200 tons of uranium material to the mill from Europe. It should not be the responsibility of Energy Fuels to assist other countries with disposing of their used radioactive waste here in our country at any level of radioactivity, large or small, the July 2nd letter states. Clearly, the regulations in those areas do not allow for the long-term storage of byproduct from extraction, so why should we? No one else is willing to take this radioactive waste, so the applicant is requesting that the state of Utah allow it to use San Juan County as a dumping ground for the world. On June 22nd, the Navajo Ute Commission of the Navajo Nation Council passed a resolution opposing importation of Estonian radioactive material to the White Mesa Mill. According to the tribe's resolution, quote, local community members have concerns about the lack of oversight, safety, and contamination of local groundwater resources on and around the White Mesa Mill. It states that the Navajo Nation is deeply committed to the protection of indigenous sacred lands, cultural resources, and Native people. It recognized that Ute Mountain White Mesa community lives directly adjacent to the mill. The Navajo Nation and the Navajo Utah Commission therefore request that the Utah Division of Waste Management and Radiation Control reject this application to process and store waste from Estonia at the White Mesa Mill, the resolution stated. The White Mesa Mill can process uranium ore or alternative waste tailings and extract the uranium into yellow cake to make fuel rods for U.S. nuclear power plants. Chemicals left over from the milling are stored permanently in containment cells at the White Mesa Mill facility. facility. In defending its proposal, Energy Fuels, who owns the mill, pointed out that it is recycling silmet material into a clean energy resource for nuclear power. Quote, the silmet material contains the same percentage of recoverable natural uranium as the highest grade uranium mines in the U.S., meaning it is as valuable as mined ore, said Curtis Moore, Vice President of Marketing for Energy Fuels. Quote, therefore, the silmet material is a valuable resource that should be recycled and used in the production of carbon-free nuclear energy. At its heart, this is no different than any other recycling initiative, and it's hard to believe anyone could be against a recycling project that also fights climate change. End quote. Moore said that since 1998, the White Mesa Mill has recovered about 6 million pounds of natural uranium. This amount of uranium would produce the same amount of electricity as about 50 million tons of coal, he said, and produce the same amount of electricity as the annual output of 24,500 wind turbines. Quote, if approved, the Silmet recycling project will truly be a win for the San Juan County, the state of Utah, Energy Fuels, Silmet, and the fight against air pollution and climate change, Moore said. Alcohol to go. It's a strange new twist for 2020. The governor's office here in Colorado just extended the ability to legally sell alcohol to go in order to help assist local businesses that are struggling with less than capacity operation regulations for restaurants with alcohol sales, as well as the complete shutdown of bars. And this is now in place till 2021. The Journal reported that to help support local businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, the town of Mancos is temporarily loosening its open container laws, although there will be some restrictions. As of July 10th, restaurant patrons will be able to purchase alcohol in to-go cups from restaurants and enjoy drinks at the corner of Grand Avenue and Main Street during weekend evenings. The decision aims to allow local eateries to sell alcoholic beverages while still complying with the governor's recent order to close bars again to in-person service. The town is doing what it can to help give local restaurants and businesses a boost, Mancos Economic Development Coordinator Rochelle Marchbanks told the Journal in an email. Additional picnic benches have been added to the site, also called the GMC lot, where patrons can consume to-go drinks and food. The town is leasing the lot, which was selected because it was seen as a nice and central location, Marchbanks said. At the request of local businesses, the town purchased extra picnic tables and opened up town spaces for yoga and other activities, and relaxed liquor laws to allow restaurants to increase their footprint to safely serve more people, Marchbanks said. For many restaurants, liquor sales make up to 30% or more of revenue. Under the new rules, the town will provide restaurants with specific cups and lids to use for alcohol sales, along with wristbands to show that consumers have been verified by a business as being at least 21 years old. No outside alcohol can be brought to the lot, though, and the hours of alcohol consumption there are from Friday through Sunday, 4 to 10 p.m. each day. In order to enjoy the takeout alcohol option, patrons must also purchase food with their order, Marchbanks said. The town of Mancos will provide extra trash cans, but businesses are expected to keep the area clean. Quote, we're glad we can work with the businesses to help them expand their footprint and allow customers to patronize their establishments, yet still be able to social distance, said Mancos Town Administrator Heather Alvarez. All Mancos restaurants that have a liquor license are participating, according to Marchbanks. And here in Dove Creek, the Dove Creek Chamber will be coordinating for a grand opening with the new Bangers Bar and Pizza. That is Pizza Place, which was renovated at the old Frontier Bar that had been closed for years. The latest expectation of a full opening will be at the end of August. In addition to a full bar service, they'll be having a pizza menu, hot sandwiches, and other pizza oven-baked items. Their soft opening on July 4th proved that the audience is eager to enjoy the new spot and gave rave reviews on the new pizza option in town. And we'll be sure to share that event info on our Facebook page, which is DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replays along with news links and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. This is your local community TV station, so if you have something you would like to share, call us or email us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call 970-677-4119 and leave us a message. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or on our DCTV Daily News page on Facebook. And if you like the program there, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.
News.